I just finished recently reading Vodi Bakkum's new book, Fault Lines, and I've listened to you, I've listened to Jeff Durbin, I've listened to Doug Wilson, and followed all of your ministries on this subject, and it's just been a difficult couple of years. I mean, COVID was just kind of the cherry on top, but all of it really, COVID, critical race theory, it's like these things have nothing to do with one another, and yet they absolutely do. All of it is kind of revealing just these shifting plates, these shifting foundations of what we actually believe about the law of God, what we believe about biblical justice, all these different things. And so I guess one of the things that I wanted to discuss with you is what is your prediction over the next few years, the next maybe 3 years, 5 years, not just in evangelicalism as a whole, but in the Reformed camp? I think that's what I've been so burdened by. It seems like Reformed churches have no immunity towards this division that's been taking place. What do you think is going to happen?
A lot of that depends on how quickly the global elites want to press the advantage that they have obtained during the COVID, the massive leftward swing across the globe. It doesn't matter what nation you're in. There has been this huge power grab and a movement toward a form of totalitarianism that may determine what we are talking about by just simply making it next to impossible for us to even function as Christians in society. We may end up having a lot of these conversations from a gulag someplace. And that sounds like scare tactics, but if you've been watching anything going on in Canada, Australia, or any place else, if you're listening to what's being said, then you well know that this isn't scaremongering. This is just being realistic and saying, yeah, this type of thing is a very strong possibility. So if there is not a major shift, if there's not a new variant that is immune to vaccines, or if you don't have, I mean, the people that were predicting the pandemic are now saying the next huge thing is going to be a information collapse, the internet, a cyber attack that will bring down the entire web and crash us back to the 1970s, which I can remember, by the way. Yes, it would have huge impact. And most of us wouldn't even know how to get hold of anybody anymore without our electronic devices and things like that. Something like that happens that, brings down the global economy and everything else. We're not going to be arguing about almost anything other than just engaging in survival at that particular point. And that would be local churches banding together and taking care of each other and sacrificing a lot and living in fellowship, and might be the best thing that's ever happened to us, to be honest with you. Yeah. I mean, it's easy to say that, but we all know that the difficulties that would come with that. So if we still have the freedom to be arguing globally, then we can ask those questions. Where is this divide going to take us? And I think the divide's already taken place. The question is really going to be who's going to remain consistent